morning, y'all.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Friday, we are starting where the magic happens, here in the CBS News lobby.
And since the early hours of the morning, there has been an extreme police presence out here. I'm gonna get out of the way so you can get a better idea. Today, they are having the largest swim lesson in the world. Not only because Black beauty creators need to be making more in the beauty space, but the first teen suspect is currently in custody and expected to come to court later today. And I have these sticky gloves on that are gonna help me to hold the ball when it comes hurling at me at 28 miles an hour. All right, let's get this going. Oh, wow. I gotta get me one of these. Yeah. Pardon me. Yes, Mason?
Look how fast I can speed.
Oh, he's gonna run. He's off. How did you develop this entire ethos of being a neighbor to people all over the city? And in classic Chicago fashion, we're gonna start with the Malort cocktail, even though it is freshly 8:15 in the morning. Yes, please, I will take some popcorn. Yeah. Popcorn for breakfast. I've never heard of something better, right? I'm glad that it got you excited because we do have some very cool things here today. Robots.
Your hands are warm now.
So if you've ever wondered who runs the world, Beyonce had it right, it's girls, but petroleum as well. And that's one of the beautiful things about being in a greenhouse. But I always say the best way to get to know Chef is by swinging by her house, her smokehouse, that is, not the other one. Right. One last look at our beautiful focaccia. Oh, yeah! And looking at some of this gorgeous honey that they have made right across the street in their own apiaries. And now we're gonna look at how you can make your very own centerpieces out of a thrifted bowl and a bouquet of flowers. They have the Grand Cru where you can try tons of different types of wine. Really? I didn't know absolutely. That. Okay, wait, this makes it so much more exciting. So it's not really just a pipe dream. You can really learn throughout the year, and this is a possibility. We just carry. This city does not play. It's very fun to see.
Fist bump.
Boom.
Thank you, Jam.
Thanks, y'all.
I want to remind everyone it is our favorite day of the week, Foodie Friday. Yes. And this week, we are taking you to an unconventional cafe built inside of a shipping container. Jamaica is here with that story. Jamaica.
Yes, okay, so if you've driven down South Woodlawn Avenue anywhere near the 6600 block, you've definitely seen today's feature. I mean, it's really hard to miss. It's a big old yellow shipping container right on the corner. And the coolest part of the operation is this owner's dedication to serving healthy meals in a neighborhood that's historically been a food desert. Before Marquin Gibson can start serving food out of his shipping container, he's got to open it up. The 7323 Chicago Cafe is powered by a generator, so he's got to drag that out too. And fill it up with gasoline, then plug in all of his appliances. Even then, he's still got groceries in the car.
With this park, there was nothing pre-existing, and so I came up with the idea and said, hey, I'm gonna convert a 20-foot shipping container into a small kitchen.
Gibson had seen the concept before while living on the West Coast. People making use of the millions of abandoned shipping containers out in the world.
I started to see like people with shipping containers often. I'm just like, what are y'all doing with these?
With the help of some veteran vendors and the internet, he worked to bring the concept back to his neighborhood.
Yeah, I was just YouTube University. Like it wasn't like I was just hiring a bunch of different people and say, hey, come build this for me. No, this was a labor of love.
Gibson pulled together a business plan that caught the attention of the Chicago Parks District, earning him enough grant money to get the cafe up and running. Though it wasn't just about the container, but what he's making inside of it.
It was me trying to create a solution to a problem that I see in my neighborhood, which is accessibility to healthy food options.
He's got paninis, salads, and fruit smoothies, all homemade recipes made with whole ingredients.
I thought about how traditionally it's been seen as sort of a food desert. I can go anywhere to go get fried chicken, fried fish, French fries, that kind of thing, but I didn't know how far or how long it would take me to go get a fresh smoothie or a juice.
Gibson clearly wasn't the only one looking for some healthier options. As soon as he opens up shop, the community starts stopping by.
Hello. What's up? What's up? It's so good to see you. I ain't seen you in a minute.
I was really impressed that they dropped off a container and it turned out to be surprisingly a restaurant right in the neighborhood. This is very uncommon. This is very cool.
It was this idea of creating something that was of quality, but yet affordable.
Almost everything has a fresh fruit or veggie in it, except for the ice cream sandwiches.
And as Gibson develops his menu with new flavors, the community's palate is expanding with it.
There's a panini where I use spinach, but then there's another where I use arugula. I have people come to the window and they're like, what's arugula? And I'm just like, hey, it's just a leafy green. It's a little peppery kind of taste, a little aftertaste, but it's really good, you know?
If the cafe is open, then Gibson is around to talk about anything they have on the menu.
Right, and I think the neighborhood needs those beacons of light, that hope. And I think if he doesn't recognize it, that's what he is, right?
The 7323 Cafe is open Wednesday through Sunday on the corner of Marquette and Woodlawn. And this is their third summer that they've been open, and I do not think it'll be the last. Chef Q actually tells me that they're working on getting them hooked up to the grid so they can get Wi-Fi out there to make it a real third space for people to stay at.
That's wonderful, and food deserts are a real issue here in Chicago,
Yes,
so
they are.
it's so wonderful to see someone like Chef Q doing something. And by the way, he's standing outside our studio right
He
now
is.
to watch, he's waving, to watch the show on our Jumbotron outside. So you guys, you know, you can do that too if you ever
Yes,
want.
you most certainly can. We're always streaming.
It's really sweet. That's a great story, Jamaica.
Thanks,
Thank you
Nina.
so much. Thanks.
Well, it is our favorite day of the week, Foodie Friday, and since it's Women's History Month, our friend Jamaica Ponder will be chopping it up all month long with female chefs. So, Jamaica, it's so good to have you as always on Brad's show. It's not my show, but I feel like we've still chatted many times. Who are we going to meet today?
Well, Jackie, you are absolutely going to love this chef. She is a two-time James Beard Award winner. She's a restaurateur, a philanthropist, and one of the mothers of the modern Chicago food scene. Her name is Sarah Stegner, and I'm so excited for you to meet her.
Yesterday was so good, right? Yes. It was a good day.
It's been 20 years, so by now, the team at Prairie Grass Cafe is well equipped for the oncoming lunchtime rush.
When I decided to open the restaurant here, I had this image in mind of a place that was a neighborhood place that people would come to and feel at home and comfortable. You should put some apples in the middle of the table. But I didn't really know that that meant people come all the time. So it worked.
Chef Sarah Stegner opened Prairie Grass Cafe, along with her partner, Chef George Bombaris.
We're not married, we are partners. We've worked together a long time.
He was once the executive chef at the Ritz-Carlton downtown, and she the same, just for the hotel's restaurant.
And we left together years ago.
They took their talents out to Northbrook, opening what would quickly become a community staple.
This week is the creme brulee.
Serving up a cornucopia of local food, from farmers who have grown to become Chef Stegner's friends.
I try to do that because I feel like that's our vote. That's our vote. That's what we want. We want to have farms. We want to have great tasting food. We want to have access. And it really
Not just access for the chefs and the restaurants.
If you don't have local mushrooms, you can tell.
But for everyone.
From the taste and
to make that access more of a reality, Chef Stegner helped to open Green City Market when they first started, 25 years ago.
I'm one of the founding members of the market, very proud of that. The eggs look different. Sustainable farms not only feed us in a positive way, but it also protects our land. It protects our access for future generations. And what I can spend in my restaurant towards local food, I try to do that.
The markets are open year-round in at least one of their 3 locations. And right now, it's the Avondale Winter Market that's open.
I appreciate you.
And it is busy.
It's people that are interested in protecting the land. It's gardeners. That's what Green City Market is. It's alive and thriving.
They managed to fit about 35 farmers and vendors into the space.
I want to introduce you to all of them as we go along. Yes. We're going to have a really good time.
The market is chock full of variety of products and of forms of payment they'll accept. Cash, credit, or link voucher, which they'll then triple match in vouchers to spend at the market, just like cash.
Clean food that is delicious should be available to everyone. Everyone.
So when she's not at the restaurant or at Green City Market, Chef Stegner has often got her hands full with some other philanthropic venture.
I do a lot of work with Chicago Chefs Cook, so when I am not at Prairie Grass.
You can find her working with the nonprofit, bringing together the city chefs to raise funds for communities in need. And their most current project has brought Chef Stegner to a photo shoot inside of a Mariano's.
It's for Shy Care Chicago, which is about people that are feeding the homeless.
They're making a cookbook with recipes from nearly 50 of the most sought-after culinary minds in the city.
It's the chefs in Chicago that I have so much faith in. They do so much philanthropic work. I think Chicago chefs have always done that. and we're gonna do what we can to make the world a better place.
And there's more than a good chance that Chef Stegner will be leading the way.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
I did my best, but I'm still only able to show you a fraction of the work that Chef Stegner does for her communities, and something she says is just an intrinsic part of being a chef. It is our absolute favorite day of the week, not only Friday, but Foodie Friday specifically. Today we're introducing you to one man who's spent the past decade on a quest to rid the world of what he calls the travesty of store-bought tomatoes. We've got Jamaica Ponder here with us to tell us more about that. I mean, that's a big claim. So what's he doing here to switch the script? Well, he is growing tens of thousands of tomatoes, selling them and donating them. So he's become known as the Chicago Tomato Man. And I think that is a title that he has most certainly earned. After selling and giving away, like I said, tens of thousands of plants, this is all in an effort to make sure that every Chicagoan gets to know the taste of a homegrown tomato and learn how to grow them themselves.
By the size of this crowd, one might be surprised to find out what they're all in line for. Tomato plants.
The varieties of tomatoes that we make available are unique, oddball, eccentric, offbeat. So when you're planting them, plant them this deep.
And Bob Zini, more popularly known as the Chicago Tomato Man, is kind of a big deal.
You might think it is building a community, but I prefer to call it a cult. It's a tomato cult.
The hobbyist turned tomato expert manages to draw a crowd wherever he goes. Scores of eager people hoping to pick up a trick or two on how to grow the world's best tomatoes.
This especially is too dry.
Because once you go homegrown, it's hard to go back.
It's criminal what the food industry has done to the tomato. When people think of a tomato, they will think of what they've got from a grocery store. What I've tried to do is rescue the tomato from that perception that they are tasteless travesties, which is what supermarkets sell.
Instead, Zini's selling a wide variety of tomato plants at pop-ups across the city. Customers place their orders online, with some people buying anywhere from 1 plant to 300.
How far up to snip and plant down?
He works with a farmer out near Joliet who shares his philosophy on growing.
Which is good seeds, good soil, no chemicals.
It's ready to go.
Just sunlight and heat, and he will grow around 10,000 for us.
Once the plants are old enough, workers from the nonprofit, the Gardeneers, help to pack and sort them. Zini's been partnering with the Gardeneers since he learned about them, around the time that both ventures were just getting started.
The Napa Rose won't be super large.
Years ago, I had a few excess plants. I just ran into someone and they said, you know, there's this group starting up called the Gardeneers. They put gardens in at schools throughout the city, and they could always use excess plants.
Since then, they've helped Zini run his tomato operation. In exchange, he gives them plants. Now the Gardeneers are one on a long list of nonprofits and community gardens getting plants from the Chicago Tomato Man himself.
Working with the Gardeneers taught me that, there are parts of this city where there are people whose only understanding of a tomato is through gas stations, fast foods, or convenience stores. And that's just manifestly unfair. By giving them plants, they are able to get those great tomatoes in the hands of everybody, no matter where they are from or what their resources are.
I love the Tomato Man, and my favorite part about his entire story is the passion. This started as a hobby, Audrina, something that he just really threw himself into, and he realized that everyone should understand that, well, these tomatoes are being bred in store for durability, for their ability to last on a shelf, but not for their flavor or their taste or the diversity of types. So it was really fun to spend some time with him. I love his passion too. I love how he's really taken this approach of, I need you to taste a really good tomato, because I felt that too. I used to never like tomatoes, and I had a good one. Yup. And I'm like, that's different. Nature's candy. I know, and I also, it's been so cool to see urban growers pop up around the city, giving us more access to fresh produce in all neighborhoods. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you for that. Thanks. All right, Foodie Friday, always showing up for us, giving us some fun stuff to look at. Thank you.
Celebrating National Cinema Day, and this Tuesday we are jump-starting with some movie magic fun. Our Jamaica Ponder is in Fulton Market right now, visiting a unique spot that joins together the mesmerizing views of our city and some of your favorite films all in one spot. Good morning, Jamaica.
Good morning. Yeah, we're on the roof of the Emily Hotel right now at the Rooftop Cinema Club. And I'm here with the food and beverage director of the hotel, Mr. Matthew Fritchman. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
Well, my first thing that we were just chatting about is what sort of people you're getting up here, because you're the food and bev director for the hotel, but we're on top of the hotel. So are you getting mostly guests? Are you getting visitors from across the city, tourists? Who's coming up here?
Yeah, we get a nice mixture of locals here, also hotel guests. So it's a nice mixture, but we do see a lot of Chicago residents coming to see us here.
I'm not surprised, because we're going to take a little walk so you all can see how beautiful this space is. But first of all, there's enough seating for over, what, 200 folks?
Yes, we can seat just over 200 people here.
And we actually pulled up 2 seats for ourselves up front and center. This is not traditionally where you would sit, but we're going to enjoy some of the food and beverage offerings that you guys have here, because no movie is complete unless you have a snack by your side.
Exactly, exactly.
So I want to hear you talk about what it's like to have been the food and beverage director for a hotel and have to kind of pivot to create, thank you, cheers.
Cheers to you.
Talk to me about that pivot to create a menu for a movie theater.
Yeah, a little bit different, you know, used to working with restaurants and cocktail lounges, but movie theater's a little bit different. We definitely wanted to focus on that normal food and beverage offering at a movie theater and bring that and curate it out here to the outdoor movie theater and make sure they could have that same experience out here.
Can you tell me what's on the menu? Because we have some really cute drinks in our hand right now, but I know that this is not the only thing that you all offer.
Yeah, so we have some great cocktails here, some light, refreshing ones to enjoy outside, some nice cocktails. The food and beverage offerings, we bring those popcorns, nachos that you'll see at your traditional movie theater. We also have hot dogs, pizzas. Something new to our menu this year, we brought in a walking taco, which is very popular that people are enjoying a lot. So that's a new one to the menu.
Oh, I love all the hot food options. So you can really come out here and have dinner and a show. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Of course, of course.
We'll send it back to you all in the studio.
Candles, they're the universal gift, sure to make anyone light up with joy. And now a couple-owned business is bringing luxury candles to the local scene. It's called G&G Home, and they're now open in Oak Park. Jamaica Ponder is live with us this morning, talking everything candles, decor, and entertaining. Jamaica, you also look stunning in this hot pink. This is such a great summer look. I love it.
Jackie, thank you very much. When I walked in here, I was like, whoa, I'm dressed kind of bright because the energy of this space is so calming and refined. And I was like, I don't know if neon really fits it, but that's okay, we're gonna go with it. G&G Home, coming up on their 1-month anniversary, and I'm here with one of the co-owners, half of the dynamic duo that founded this shop, Georgiana Williams.
Hello.
And you know what, Georgiana, you have done such a beautiful job of creating this space. I said when I walked in, I'm like, wow, smells amazing in here.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I want to make sure that everybody gets to see, before we head over to the candles, what else you have in here, because it's a collection of vintage wares and things that you found. Can you tell me a little bit about what we're looking at?
Yes, my husband and I are obsessed with all things thrifting and antiquing, so we have curated a lot of these things from our favorite thrifted antique shops. So anything that you really need for like a gift or entertaining, we're huge entertainers. We love hosting and throwing dinner parties. You can get your taper candles here. You can get something for your husband. We have beard oils that we wholesale. I also work with some amazing local makers. This is from an amazing brand. Her name is Nasira, and she has a brand, Opta Emporium. She does these gorgeous cold press soaps. And yeah, a lot of vintage finds and giftables.
And one thing that I guess is kind of the core of your business, and maybe what catapulted you all even into getting this brick and mortar, is your home fragrance line and the many forms in which it comes. So on this table here, we have some of your, you gotta tell me, what is?
Yes, this is our reed diffuser. So this is a great flameless option for people who aren't really into like a burning flame. They're maybe a little scared of fire, and they want something just kind of scenting their home without having to do anything. And then yes, we specialize in our are luxury vegan candles. I use a beautiful creamy coconut wax, and I also blend it with a soy wax. So I love the mixture of both. I think it makes like a perfect blend.
And Georgiana is making all of these candles like back here, and they're about to start having classes that you can come in here and make them yourself. And so before we wrap up, because we don't have a ton of time, you got to show me one thing.
Yes.
What's with the wick cutting?
Yes. Okay, so this is something that I see so many people do wrong, and it's just like, let me give you one little tip. You definitely always want to trim your wicks before you relight. So we sell these beautiful candle care kits. This is a wick trimmer, and the little nubs, you just want to bloop, bloop. I usually just kind of put it right on a napkin. And that way, when you burn your candle, it is preserving its scent as well as keeping the flame nice and manageable. So that is why if you have a lot of black soot around your candle, you're not trimming your wicks. So definitely trim your wicks. That's like my biggest tip.
Georgiana, these are so cute, and I cannot wait to make some candles with you. We're gonna be here all morning, so Georgie and I will be back, but right now we're gonna send it back to you in the studio. Jackie?
The largest swim lesson is making a splash right here in Chicago. Students will dive into their lessons at all 15 Goldfish Swim School locations in our area. And that's where we're getting our morning jump started with our Jamaica Ponder, who's joining us live now from one of those swim schools up in Evanston. So Jamaica, what do you have for us this time?
Yes. So I would be remiss, Jackie, if I did not take a dip in myself. So we're going to take a little stroll on into this pool here. But I'm with General Manager Javon Corbin, and today they are having the largest swim lesson in the world, which means that they're doing a bunch of swim lessons all at the same time. You can see young people all around me having a great time in the water. But what we're focusing on today is water safety. So, Javon, tell me, what are we focusing on today that keeps kids safe in the water?
Today and every day we're focusing on water safety, education, making sure that kids know where they are, by awareness, as well as just offering up swim lessons and also offering up a safe space, a safe learning environment for our kids to learn how to be safe in and out of the water.
Why did you all decide to do this? What was the reason behind making it the largest swim lesson, doing it all at once?
Well, quite literally, unfortunately, water drowning is the number 2 cause of death in children aged 1 to 14. And anything that we can do to help prevent that and to help curb that number, we're going to do it. By all the way from offering scholarship opportunities here at the Evanston location, as well as offering free trials for any and every one that comes in. First time, of course, free trials. And we also offer free swim lessons for infants 6 months and younger.
That's so wonderful that you're able to get kids in the water so young. And it's not just here in Evanston. There are 15 locations, Goldfish Swim School locations in the Chicagoland area, and all of them are celebrating this largest swim lesson.
Exactly. Not just in the Chicagoland area, but again, this is a global event that we are so proud to be a part of. This is our 3rd, 4th year going into it, and it's been around for 15 years going strong. And like I said, whatever we can do in regards to scholarship opportunities, making sure we offer swim lessons for children, we're going to do it to make sure that, again, each and everybody is safe, happy, and learning how to be safe around and in the water.
And it's not just safety. Clearly, everyone is having so much fun with your staff and each other. Can you tell me, what's the age group? I know that it starts very young, but there is a cutoff, correct?
There is a cutoff. We graduate swimmers at the age of 12.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, by the time that someone gets to 12, if they've been with us from early on, they're expert swimmers by the time they get out of here and head on to the high school level.
That's amazing that they can start here as a little baby and eventually compete if they want to. But regardless, they'll be able to keep themselves safe in the innumerable bodies of water that surround us, not just in Chicago, but all over the country. So thank you so much for letting me get a little wet this morning. I just had to feel it. You know, I needed to know what they were experiencing.
Well, again, the atmosphere here is 90 degrees, so we keep it nice and warm for these guys, as well as the water set at 90 degrees. So we just find that it's easier for kids to learn when they're in a comfortable environment. And we just can run with it, as you can see.
Well, as you can see, they are very comfortable, and this is very real. So, Jackie, back to you.
Yeah, Jamaica, I'm amazed. That is not like a swim dress, right? That's just a regular dress, and you just walked right in. This convention is historic in so many ways, and that includes Gen Zers who will be voting for the very first time. So joining us now is Jamaica Ponder. And Jamaica, this group overall is taking their chance to vote, their opportunity to vote, very seriously.
Yes, they are, and they're showing up at the convention, which is very interesting to see that since President Joe Biden dropped out, there really has been a flurry of activity around Vice President Harris's campaign, particularly on social media. And that's led to viral memes and references like Charlie XCX's Green Brat album becoming the unofficial theme of the Harris campaign. But what's curious is, will it also translate to the polls? We did a little bit of a vibe check and asked Gen Z at the DNC what they think.
If you haven't yet heard of a brat summer or understand the context of a coconut tree, just a few hours of exploring the Democratic National Convention will introduce you to the undeniable Gen Z-ification of Democratic nominee Kamala Harris's presidential campaign.
Brad's great.
Yeah, memes come to life, lime green is everywhere, and so are the people who made it go viral. Young Democrats from recent high school grads to voters in their mid-20s. Energetic, hopeful, and galvanized by Harris's last-minute nomination.
I feel like the excitement really happened when Biden dropped out, as much as I hate to say it.
When he dropped out, I thought it was a great choice. It was a super selfless choice.
I feel like everyone's so ecstatic since Kamala has come in, and the energy is like unreal.
Many of the young people at the DNC were already tapped into the election before Harris entered the race. But recently, interest has moved beyond just Gen Z working in politics.
More people signed up to start or join Voters of Tomorrow chapters in the 48 hours after Vice President Harris announced than we did in the 2 months before that combined.
There's just like this unprecedented momentum and energy for Harris. This is truly historic. I've never felt this energy momentum in my life.
Fueling Gen Z Democrats is a tangible sense of responsibility to fix a litany of inherited issues. To them, Harris now represents an actual shot at progress.
They're just appealing to the young people and what we want to talk about, like student loans and rent and all of these other things that matter to us, our rights, women's rights.
Voter suppression, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Voter suppression is huge in the state of Georgia, unfortunately.
Harris's economic plan definitely speaks to me. I have uncertainty if I'm ever going to own a home, so that $25,000 down payment assistance program that Harris proposes, that will be truly transformational.
From Harris's proposed policies to her campaign's skillful use of social media, Gen Z Democrats feel as though taking that energy from the internet to the ballot box now relies on them.
I think the young people are going to be the change. We're going to be the vote that pushes Kamala into the White House.
The energy coming from the young people at the convention, honestly, Jackie, it's palpable.
Yeah.
How excited everyone is, and everything really is very lime green.
Very lime green. Okay, yes, we saw the bracelets and then the coconut tree, the whole thing. There's a lot going on with Brat Summer.
The internet has truly leapt out and just been personified in this convention. It was wild to see.
Well, thank you for bringing it to us. We really appreciate it.
8:13, good morning. Welcome back to the stream here. So today, our Jamaica Ponder is highlighting a unique company that's really changing the way people sleep. And this is perfect just in time for Earth Month as we look at some eco-friendly alternatives to things.
Yes, it is. These mattresses are made completely from an all-natural material.
Okay.
And it might sound kind of weird, but that material is latex, and the company is called Sleep on Latex. They just launched a new eco-friendly brand, which if you're not privy to the secrets of the mattress world, this may sound a bit odd. I mean, why would you want to sleep on latex?
I never thought about it.
How is that good for the environment? But I swung by their factories in Niles to find out.
Their main focus may be sleep, but by early morning, the factory floor is anything but. Dozens of craftspeople work in tandem with the lines of heavy machinery, sewing, cutting, and measuring out raw materials. A symphony of movement that eventually turns blocks of latex into eco-friendly mattresses, pillows, and foam toppers.
Latex, a lot of people don't think of it as a natural product, but it actually comes from trees.
Before there was all of this, there was just Carl Shevik, and a shipping container full of latex foam.
Directly from the source in Sri Lanka, and I realized I couldn't unload the container, so I hired my brother to come in and help me unload the container, and so he owns and runs the business with me now.
His company, Sleep on Latex, is a family-run operation that's erupted since they first started making mattresses over a decade ago. They now have over 300 employees over 3 continents, most working in their latex production factories over in Sri Lanka.
In order to get the latex tappers will go out and scrape the rubber tree, and this white fluid will come out of the rubber tree. That's latex, and then that's eventually used to make our foam.
A Skokie native, Shevik was selling beanbags in the Vernon Hills Mall when one of his Sri Lankan suppliers introduced him to the all-natural material.
I'd never heard of it before, but it was like the most expensive type of foam that they sold. And I found there was this market for latex foam online and latex foam mattresses.
But Shevik thinks the market could be larger. The only issue:
people think of latex as being something synthetic. They think of it being hot. They think of it being uncomfortable. Like all of the opposite things of what our product actually is.
That's where Earth Foam comes in. It's the same product as Sleep-On Latex. It just doesn't lead with, well, latex.
We kind of decided that we needed to really give it a different name if we were going to appeal to a wider audience. It's actually funny because I was always really interested in the environmental angle of things, but it didn't really occur to me that could be a business.
Chicago is no stranger to importing rubber and latex to create some of our favorite products. Hello, Mars Wrigley. It wasn't until World War II, actually, that synthetic latex became more popular due to a shortage of the natural stuff. But in the past several decades, we've seen natural materials make a real comeback.
A history lesson on that. Thanks for that. But wow, I love seeing the inside of just local companies who are innovating and taking risk, and we get to see their operations right in Niles there.
No, it's wonderful to know that it's truly in our backyard. Getting some major consumer products that you might assume are being made overseas, but they're not.
I know, so interesting. Jamaica, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You may have noticed a serious surge in crafting over the past several years, maybe even picking up something yourself. There's one Northside shop that's recently been feeling the effects of more people wanting to keep their hands busy. Our Jamaica Ponder joins us now to tell us more. Hi, Jamaica.
Hi, good morning, Brad. Today we're going to check out a shoemaking and leather art school. And I know it sounds very obscure, but you'd be surprised at how quickly their classes have begun selling out. That and how many people they can fit into one studio. Deborah Jansen's is used to keeping her hands busy.
I'm going to be cutting out a lot more of the lunch blanks just to make sure.
She's the assistant manager for the Chicago School of Shoemaking and Leather Arts, which means she oversees keeping these hands busy.
Hey, Deborah.
And these. And as of late, thanks to a viral TikTok, she and the entire teaching staff have been doing a lot more instructing.
I'm running out of calendar space.
But it's not just TikTok. Since the pandemic, folks have been spending more money on leather and arts and crafts, with both industries widely projected to increase their value by billions just in the next couple of years.
It's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining about it.
But they are trying to figure out how they're going to adjust for the sudden influx of new students.
I think we had over 1,000 new signups. I mean, we have had an exponential explosion. We're all sold out there, except for the 2 classes I just added yesterday.
More students means more classes, which means more of Jansen's time spent prepping materials and making more phone calls.
A lot of sold out classes. It always gives you a little bit of a moment of relief because, you're going to make rent.
And of course, more leather.
We're ordering more, we're ordering bigger. We're still figuring it out because we're beginning to get the first rush of many more classes. So since we're selling out so fast, we need to order more leather more often.
The school has several suppliers, but only one of them processes their leather right here in Chicago. Their West Loop storefront's only a couple stops away, and for Jansen's, getting to pay them a visit is always a bit of a treat.
There it goes. Our founder usually gets the fun job of going shopping for leather.
Since the school's had to increase its number of classes by 50%, materials aren't the only thing Jansen's looking for. Between herself and the other 9 instructors, they have to create the patterns they teach to their students, which means today she's also on the hunt for a little bit of inspiration, and she's hoping she can find it at Tannery Row.
Our students are always asking for a simple tote with a zipper in it, and it's high time I deliver.
The selection at Tannery Row is extensive, and as Jansen shops around, she's not only thinking about what she's going to make, but if she'll be able to teach it.
I want somebody to be able to finish in the time that they're given, and I want people to have a really good experience in that.
With each piece of leather is a possibility for a new creation.
And for teachers like Jansen, there's the potential for it to become a skill she can pass on to somebody else.
The school offers introductory classes through their website and Groupon. As you saw, they fill up fast, but Deborah assures me that she's always working on ways to fit more students in.